So there'll be intro music. And
something tasteful.
Yeah, whatever is in my random folder of waves.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right. Welcome to the GRODCAST. I'm your host, Young Greasy. I'm here today with Terst. How is it going, Terst?
Oh, another day in paradise.
Paradise, Long Island.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you want to... So, how do you know who I am?
Well, we've been best friends since middle school. Right?
Really?
7th grade?
8th grade.
8th grade. I always get it confused. Because a couple of other folks were there the year before you came 8th grade. But I spent many hours of my most formative years in your basement.
You
Playing
were allowed
music.
to leave.
Yes, I was allowed to leave. Playing music, video games, swimming in your pool, eating cosmic brownies, and watching Xena Warrior Princess.
Yeah, that's the plan pre-wedding day.
Oh, excellent.
Some Xena.
Yeah. Alana's parents have the box set. We got to get the box set. I got to watch the whole thing at some point.
DVD or VHS?
DVD. Okay. Yeah.
So let's just get right into it. So Terst, our first question: what is important?
Man, what a question. I think a lot of things are important. I think companionship is important. I think art is important. I think creative ways to enjoy your leisure time is important. Hobbies. I am a person who takes great joy in my silly little overly complicated hobbies.
What are a few of those?
Well, let's see. I mean, we talked about the music stuff. You and I have been in bands throughout the years. All kinds of stuff. Covers, original music at times. Other hobbies, I'm into building like mechanical keyboards. So I have like 3 or 4 of these. They're made of like solid aluminum. It's a rabbit hole that I think it's cool to fall down for a little bit. But I would only recommend somebody have one keyboard. I don't think it's a great hobby to live in. The same with like vinyl. I collect vinyl, particularly like new releases, and like it gets it's a nasty space of like FOMO, and it's just expensive to produce now. So a bad hobby for folks with little disposable income.
Yeah, but maybe not as bad as Magic the Gathering.
That's true. I got out of that maybe a little bit more than you. Like, I don't play much anymore except with you.
Yeah, I haven't bought a card in years besides that pack.
Yeah. I mean, that was fun.
Yeah.
Memory lane, but also like, man, I could have had, however much I spent on Magic in high school, I could have had, maybe some things more meaningful, like another instrument or two. But we enjoyed our time.
What, if you could buy an instrument right now, what would you buy?
Oh, so I'm trying to upgrade like my main daily driver bass. I've gone through a bunch of different ones throughout the years, and I think I'm finally ready to just like, my next instrument purchase is going to be a bad one because it's a bass that I want to like play for the rest of my life, which in my mind, I don't want to spend less than like $1,500 on, which thankfully shit. Like it could be worse, like saxophones and stuff, like a nice professional saxophone's like $6,000. So all things considered, like I'm at a point in my life where I have made enough money playing my instruments to where it's like I should just invest in a good one. Instead of right now I'm playing like a really beat up Squire classic vibe jazz bass, and it sounds fine, but I hate the way it feels, and it's really heavy. So
yeah, I haven't ever bought the one big purchase instrument. No. I usually buy some cheap guitars and then slowly replace parts.
Yeah, or I end up trading in a lot. If there's something wrong with it, it's just I'd get a better, it's like replacing a car, it's I'd get something better for the money if I just trade it in and start from scratch instead of trying to fix this. So
well, you didn't replace your first car for a long time.
I tried not to, as best we could. But with instruments, my last guitar I purchased, I think will probably be the last guitar I buy.
That was the 2 single coils and a humbucker.
Yeah, the Super Strat. It's a Mexican Fender, but I honestly, I've listened to and played so many Fenders. I honestly prefer the pickups in the Mexican series, at least new Fenders. The American ones are a little too bright.
Yeah, my go-to guitar is just my BC Rich.
Yeah, classic.
With the EMG humbuckers. Yeah.
I mean, EMG, those are nice pickups, man.
Yeah. When I first got it, we had somebody else do the wiring, and that was a mistake because they fucked it up. But I later, years later, I went in and just redid everything, and now it works great. So
nice. And you learned your way around a soldering iron. So
I burned myself a few times, some of them on purpose. So
yeah, that's kind of the long and short of it.
Yeah. Well,
do not like soldering.
Yeah. Some people get crazy good at it, though.
Yeah, they do. Endless respect to those people.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a lot of important stuff.
Yeah.
Moving on to some more personal questions. So, Terst, did you know that Guitar Hero 3's engine and Clone Hero's engine are basically the same?
That doesn't surprise me. However, just sort of subjectively, Clone Hero feels easier. I don't know if the window's actually bigger. I'm sure I could check. I don't care to know.
And do you have a favorite song on Clone Hero?
On Clone Hero? I have so many songs on Clone Hero. That's a hard one. I love, there's a very old, if you know Asai, there's a very old Asai video of him playing the Extreme Sound Clown Megamix 5. It's just a great meme mashup, an excellent product of its time. And there's a full nice chart for it with the video in the background, and that's a really fun one in Clone Hero.
Cool. Yeah. You have shown me a lot of those compilation type
it's so interesting
tracks.
You could play the entire first Shrek movie in Clone Hero right now if you wanted to.
Could you FC it?
Yeah, somebody made a full chart for the movie. It starts with just the All-Star Smash Mouth Guitar Hero chart.
When was that on Guitar Hero?
Oh, maybe it was Rock Band. I mean, that song's definitely in an official
it was
game.
Warriors of Rock or something.
Yeah, or one of the DLCs for Rock Band or something.
You didn't play on my cover of All-Star, but you did play on that EP with If It Makes You Happy.
Oh yeah, that was a fun little thing. I'm hoping to have more time to do music and stuff like that now that I've moved.
Yeah, I would say it does the best job of regulating my mood. Is when I don't play any music for a couple weeks, I start to kind of go in circles in my head, and it's nice to reset.
Yeah, any sort of creative outlet. It's good for you.
Except finger painting. Actively bad for you.
Yeah, I guess I can't argue that it would be beneficial in any way.
All right. So sticking on the guitar track, I have a list of 5 guitarists, and I want you to rank them from worst to best.
Do I get to know them all ahead of time, or is this a you're going to feed me one and I have to assign them a number situation?
You'll get to know them ahead of time.
Okay, got it. Objective ranking. Sure.
All right, so we've got John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Corey Wong from Wolfpack.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix from the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Yeah.
Jack White from Solo Stuff and the White Stripes. And then Sinister Gates from Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
I tried to spread out genre-wise. So.
Yeah, very spread out genre-wise. I mean, the fact of the matter is all of these individuals are equally as experienced, because I can tell you that John Frusciante is going to be a lot more fun to watch live than a lot of these like super virtuosic guitar. Like performing live is its own art form. It is not the same at all as sitting down and recording your instrument. 2 completely different skills. Having said that, I think Jack White at 5, John Frusciante at 4, and then I need the other 3 again because I forgot.
So we have Corey Wong, Jimi Hendrix, and Sinister Gates.
That's right. Well, Sin went to jazz school, famously, I think. Knows his way around his instrument. But I think, at least we're all personal preference here. These are like 3 incredibly talented artists. Gonna go Sinister Gates 3, Corey Wong 2, and Jimmy at 1. He's a legend. Like, he's a legend.
Yeah, I have to agree. Jimmy is the obvious number 1.
Yeah.
I would have put John Frusciante up as like 4.
He's good.
Yeah.
Like deceptively very good. Think about like things like Snow that like are a lot harder to play than they sound.
Yeah. And that's one where you can kind of cheat and play it open if you capo, but that's cheating. You know?
Yeah.
Well, cool. I kind of figured, I just wanted to see how many of these people you would put behind Corey Wong.
I think he is like a true virtuoso. He has a ton of videos on YouTube about like how he practices and his like go-to practice routines and things. And I'm convinced that no other human being has better rhythm than Corey Wong. He like truly has like perfect tempo. His articulation is incredible. Yeah, I would say that you like to live behind the beat.
Yeah.
I think that's a choice, and being, free with your rhythm is an artistic decision. However, the discipline maybe is a little behind someone like Corey.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't love to practice with a metronome, and most people don't. That's what's so impressive about, like, to me, about having good rhythm is like the focus and self-discipline it takes to practice so long with that metronome.
Yeah, the only time I play with anything keeping the beat is when I've already tracked out a drum part.
Yeah.
And I'm just playing on top of that, but...
Yeah, and it's similar, but it's not the same, like, as practicing with a dedicated click track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different. What is the best country based only on its shape?
Oh, that's fun. I mean, it's got to be Italy, right? Like, it's iconic, Some may say that's the normie's choice. However, country like soccer and shaped like boot kicking ball, like, you can't write it.
Yeah, maybe the aliens, when they were breaking up Pangea, made Italy break in a certain way so as to be the perfect shape.
Yeah. In fact, I don't even know if I could name another country known for its shape. I'm sure there is one.
China kind of looks like a chicken.
I think I have heard that. I don't know how much I see it.
Yeah, but you are professed as not enjoying being around chickens.
Am I?
Yeah, that's what we all say about you.
I'd believe it, honestly. I don't know what I did to deserve such a reputation. However, I don't deny that I probably did do something to earn it.
Yeah. And I'm a cat. Meow.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is the second question of the 6.
No
what
way.
What is one of your favorite movies and why?
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely speed it up from here. So, I don't know if it's always the case, but the one I always fall back on is Forrest Gump.
Okay.
I just think it's a great piece. I appreciate the human experience of it all. It's a very nice movie. Gets a little blurry when Tom Hanks gets up off the bench, but I need to give it a rewatch for sure. Yeah, that's my usual go-to answer.
Who is the villain
of Forrest Gump?
Is there one?
Man, I don't know. Can I say Nixon?
Yeah.
I guess Nixon.
What's her name? It's Forrest and Jenny.
Jenny. I mean, Jenny does suck, but I don't think Jenny's the villain.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't her fault, some of that.
Yeah. No, exactly,
And she did live in Berkeley, California for a bit.
That sounds right. Is that the Freebird scene? Is that in Berkeley?
Well, she was telling him about Berkeley when they were at DC.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah, maybe someday I'll be inspired by it to perform naked, but...
Well, good luck. All right. Please don't remind me.
Well, every time you rewatch this, it'll be a reminder.
Great.
Is having perfect pitch overrated?
I don't have it, but I do think having it is overrated. I think I watched a lot of people with perfect pitch have it get in the way when they got to music school. There are certain things musically that like you can't fake your way through if you have perfect pitch. Like I watch a lot of people with perfect pitch mess up like sight singings and things like that in college. And then also the music theory professors love to dunk on kids with perfect pitch. So because they know it's something that people like to brag about in high school, I think. Mm-hmm. And they really nip that in the bud freshman year. Like professors will actively bully the students that are like proud of their perfect pitch, because it's not really an advantage. Like it is, but it isn't. You can teach yourself to do everything someone with perfect pitch can do.
Do you have relative pitch?
I think everyone has relative pitch. I think mine is relatively well trained. I was pretty good at dictation and things like that. I think a lot of that comes from playing an instrument first before I really started singing. But yeah,
So I will say some people don't have any pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really prescribe to that. I think it's a lot of people who like had their confidence crushed in elementary school when some music teacher told them, you can't sing. Like, I don't really believe that. I think if these people put their minds to it, they could. I've worked with people that, aren't the best, most confident singers, but, they can do it.
Debunked.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some science that says, but I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think with the right coaching, anyone can sing, truly.
Yeah, I think I was more thinking about like deaf people.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
A little jousting.
Yeah. There we go. Just a bit of banter.
Do you wanna say a bit about what you do?
Yeah. I work for a college, a private institution. of higher education, and I plan all the fun things. So like field trips off campus that are free or, you know, cheaper for the students, like excursions, or we bring bounce houses to campus, things like that. Just trying to keep the vibes good on the campus, I suppose, is my job.
Keep the spirits high.
Yeah.
So, is that, or, why do you do what you do?
Well, that is a bit of a longer story, but I'll speed through it. I went to school to be a music teacher. I student taught, and liked high school, didn't love teaching the elementary school students, and that's kind of where you start most of the time as a music teacher. You work your way up. Maybe you start at middle school, but you don't. Most people don't get a high school job right out of college, at least in New York. But I student taught, had some conflicting feelings, went to grad school, worked in residence life in grad school. I had a grad assistantship doing that, and then COVID hit. I could keep the job I had, which I knew how to do, and I could continue to learn for free. I had housing and everything during COVID, which was nice. And frankly, I didn't want to go teach public school in the fall of 2020. So I just kept doing that, and we made it work. And now I love working with college students. I think it's a fun age, and everyone that's in college is excited to be there. Even still, you know, they're getting to, you know, in some ways they have a goal or aspiration, and they're passionate about it. So it's cool.
Yeah, I see myself ending up working at a school, but probably in more of a teaching capacity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I could do like pre-college. I worry too much about dealing with the parents.
Well, you have to deal with the parents at college too. The difference is like you can sort of ignore them.
Yeah.
And also like you don't have to report directly to them about how their kid is doing. There's laws around that. But yeah, I also just think it's like you're operating at a higher level. It particularly like with music, there's a big jump between high school chorus and college chorus. Like that is something else. To be a part of that was special. I wouldn't trade my music degree for anything. It was a great experience.
I'll have to try and think of something I would offer to get you to trade your degree to me.
To you?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about plants or mushrooms or whatever it is you do.
Water.
Oh, it's water now?
Yeah.
I thought it was soil at one point.
Well, it's the water in the soil.
Oh.
But I guess it's the soil too.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, moving right along, do you have a most memorable concert experience as both a crowd person and a performer?
Yeah, I mean, performer, it has to be Carnegie Hall. I got to perform at Carnegie Hall my freshman year of college. It was great. We sang the Foray Requiem under the baton of Dwayne Wolfe, who is an asshole. But professional conductor, Carnegie Hall, pretty cool. I also sang backup for a similar like concert through the school for Patti LuPone, who's like a big deal in the musical theater world. So that was fun too. She was actually great to work with despite her reputation. And then in terms of concerts that I've been to, man, it's a lot at this point. I honestly had a really great time last year seeing Simple Plan, Sum 41, and The Offspring. The Offspring were a little too old, but I'm glad I got to see them because I listened to them a lot in middle school and high school. And
didn't we all?
Yeah. And Sum 41 was a band that I did listen to in my youth, but I wish I listened to more now. Like I wish they were a bigger part of those years for me. But getting to see them like in their last year of touring was pretty cool. And they're really good. We should have been listening to them instead of Blink. And then Simple Plan just rocks. They're so fun, even now.
Yeah, your big pop punk era happened a lot later than mine.
It did, yeah. Like I was, you know, like kind of into it. I was more into like the Green Day, Offspring side of things than like the Blink-182, Sum 41, like pop punk. But I love pop punk now. It's such a great summer vibe.
Yeah, put on some old All Time Low.
Yeah, I'm All Time Low, or even like Less Than Jake, like the almost like the ska stuff.
Almost ska.
Yeah, I love it.
So, both great answers. One of my favorite concert experiences was that time we saw Pixies and Weezer.
Yeah,
with
that was
the
a great
Wombats.
Show. Yeah, the Wombats were cool. Weezer is great. The Pixies kind of suck. The Pixies kind of suck live. They didn't interact with the audience at all.
Yeah, it was only the music.
Yeah, and it's like so not the vibe. Like you're an opening band, man. Like you gotta get people excited. You're like not doing your job. Like a good opening band is so memorable to me. I feel like a lot of my favorite bands over the years are bands I've watched open for bands I was there for. You know, like Truesdale, yeah, open for Corey Wong. Even going back to like when we saw Aunt Martha.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, shout out to Aunt Martha. I have reached out to their singer who, like, just, I don't know. Like, he had some solar music, and I think now he just, like, works in sound engineering. But, like, I reached out to him and messaged him and was like, hey, your music was, like, a very important part of my childhood. I just want to, like, thank you for creating that. And I never got a response, but I hope he read it. You know? It's why we released the music.
I think you have a vinyl of them, right?
I do. I have a vinyl of Candy Maker, and I've looked on Discogs. That thing's never for sale. I'm glad I found it, and it like doesn't skip. I didn't take good care of it, but it's in like great shape.
Yeah, the record I have that has started to skip, which I'm sad about, is my copy of Plastic Beach.
Mine has a skip too.
Yeah.
Do you have the picture disc or just the normal?
Just the normal one.
Yeah, I wish I had the normal one. I got the only one they had when I was trying to get it was the picture disc one. And there's a skip in Super Fast Jellyfish.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's my favorite one.
Yeah, the skip for me is in Welcome to the World of the Plastic Beach.
Oh, that's my other favorite one, right at the beginning of the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so it goes.
Yeah. Certainly not going to go out and buy another copy of Plastic Beach. That thing's like $50.
Yeah. I hope that I'm never as poor as I am right now. But
yeah, I mean,
I think that's your 20s, right?
Yeah, and it's also being a grad student in California.
Yeah.
It's like the worst place to be a grad student, and they've got so many of them.
Mm-hmm. But I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, you're almost there.
Yeah.
You made it.
So, sticking with discussion of different formats of music, do you have any CDs?
Ligma Shield up. Next question.
Okay. I thought I would get you.
The answer is somewhere I have a Pat Metheny CD. I don't know if it's in my new car or like in a box somewhere, but I accidentally ordered that instead of a record once.
CDs nuts.
Yeah, there you go.
I really wanted to say it.
Yeah, next question.
Who is one of your favorite historical figures?
Yeah, this is a hard one. I was thinking about this earlier because, you know, as mentioned before, so I've been trying not to watch all of them because I wanted some things to be a surprise, but the two I watched both had this question. And so my answer is I will take an opportunity to explore one of my other new funny fixation hobbies, and that's Major League Baseball and baseball history. There's a great YouTube channel out there called Foolish Baseball. Does little fun baseball history videos. Has a video about a pitcher named Old Hoss Radbourn, who pitched like 70 games in one season because all of the pitchers on his team quit. And he's like, no, I'll just pitch every game, which is not something any human should do to their arm. Most pitchers, like if you're a really good pitcher these days, you start 30 games and you pitch maybe 6 innings in those games on average. And Old Hoss Radbourn pitched 70-something games, and through most of them were like full games. Like he threw all 9 innings. He just like ruined his arm over the course of 2 years. But those 2 years are like crazy. Like there's like he's set so many records that will just never be broken. Just because nobody's ever going to throw that many pitches in a season again. So I think,
what were the years of that?
Oh, it was like very old early baseball. I had it pulled up originally. Let me pull up Old Hoss Radbourn's baseball reference page real quick. He played he was born in Rochester. That's fun. It's a fun fact. The years in question were 1883 and 1884.
Okay.
Yeah, long time ago. But yeah, in 1884 specifically, he threw 73 complete baseball games. So that's like an absolutely absurd number of innings, number of pitches. Like 200 pitches a day, almost every day for a full like 4 months. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he continued to pitch after that, but like it's just going to ruin your arm.
A small price to pay for infamy,
I suppose, and he's got a great old baseball name.
Were all the teams around?
So
or like
the teams have like changed names and moved cities a bunch of the time. Old Hoss technically played for the Providence Grays, which I don't know if they are technically still one of the baseball teams. They might be one of the ones that have stuck around. Not entirely sure, but they played in Rhode Island, and they certainly don't exist anymore.
I was just talking about Rhode Island with Natalala. I personally think that it deserves some more area. It should try and take over some of a different state.
They can take some of Massachusetts.
So, moving on. What is better, low roll or high roll?
So I like low roll better, but I do always assume people prefer high roll. So if nothing is said before the roll, I'm assuming high roll, but I wish I could assume low roll.
Well, you can assume low roll with me.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Along the same lines, what is the worst Magic the Gathering card ever created?
Oh man, I don't know. Probably that foil Tarmogoyf in that one pack at that top 8. Like, I don't know. Remember that? Everyone was so mad at that guy for no reason. Would you have taken the foil Goyf?
I think that I would not.
You're a better man than I. I totally would have taken the foil. I wouldn't have thought about it. Something in my brain is just like, no. That Chinese worth way too much money.
Yeah, now Tarmogoyf is pretty... Well, it's not cheap, but it's like...
It's like not good anymore.
Yeah. It got... The format of Modern got too competitive.
Yeah, the old Magic cards were not as powerful on average, but the broken stuff was way more broken.
Yeah. time walk.
Yeah.
All right. So, Terst.
Yeah.
What is not important?
Oh, man. What is not important? Other people's opinion of you is not important. That's like, I think maybe the best answer you're going to get out of me. I think my life has gotten significantly better when I stopped caring what other people thought about me. I'm a pretty like unapologetic man-child. Like I own a Nintendo Switch and I play Nintendo games and I play RuneScape and things, but like I'm an adult. I pay rent. Yeah, it's been nice just like not really caring about the perception of my hobbies, I guess, you know.
Do you around what time would you say you stopped caring? And do you still care what I think about you?
I mean, yeah, like of course, but I know you're like we are at a level where our joking can be like it would truly be disastrous if you said what we said to a stranger. Like yeah, we're at that point. But yeah, of course I care about what you think, dude. I don't remember the other part of the question though.
Oh, neither do I.
Yeah. Next question.
Oh, I think I was asking like what changed in your life, like when?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It feels like it was like junior year when I like stopped playing sports and I pursued
of high school or college.
High school. Yeah. When I stopped playing sports and like did a lot of music, played music for money. Quit my job as a lifeguard, which like would have been more stable and I would have made more money, but I wouldn't have been as happy. Those years just like playing musicals after school was a lot of fun. Like that was a great high school job.
Yeah, I think it's less stressful than lifeguarding. In that lifeguarding, there's always the chance that someone's gonna die.
Yeah. And they didn't pay you very well. The YMCA is terrible. I hope you're not going to get like defamation suits for me like shitting on all of these companies.
Oh, they'll never see this.
Yeah, fuck you, YMCA. Predatory ass company.
Do you think the YWCA is any better?
I don't know what that is. Is that real? Is it the women's?
Yeah.
You know, they're just rebranding to the Y to hide the fact that they're a religious organization that are tax exempt.
Like Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. Well, Chick-fil-A doesn't hide it. The Y is trying to hide it.
So it's not to include non-binary people?
Seems unlikely, at least at the level of their upper management. Like, they're still going to be lobbying for all of that horrible stuff, so...
Yeah, our political system is in shambles.
Yeah, it's fine. What are you going to do about it?
No comment at this time.
Yeah.
All right. Are you the protagonist of this podcast, or are you the antagonist?
I like to think of myself as maybe a bit of a wild card, a fan favorite supporting character that maybe
chaotic neutral.
Maybe I get my own book later on, but I'm definitely not the focus of the story.
I like to think that I'm the antagonist of my own podcast.
You could. You should read some fantasy, like something that you can really get like lost in. It's a good time.
Yeah, I've mostly only been reading this one book for the past month or so. It's the Unabridged Diaries of Sylvia Plath.
Oh.
And some of it's really, youth exciting, but some of it's really depressing, which kind of makes sense. But it's nice to feel seen in a work written like before your parents were born.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. A silver lining to, teaching great books, quote unquote. I have some problems with that tradition of education, but it is not without its merits.
Yep.
Some of those books are great.
Do you how many books would you say you read in a year?
Well, I'm an Audible shill for sure. I have a very long commute, and I find time goes faster when I listen to audiobooks. So I've been listening to a lot of, specifically Brandon Sanderson in the last year. I'm trying to catch up with his stuff before he drops Stormlight 5 in January. I don't know if I'll finish all of it. The man writes a lot of books. But everything's connected in a way that I think is very cool. So it's like a huge commitment to get into. It's like if somebody asked you to watch One Piece, like it's that kind of scope.
We don't know what the One Piece is yet.
And you know what? I'm sure I'll find out because I won't be able to avoid it, but I don't think knowing or not knowing is going to get me to watch One Piece at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is it above 1,000 episodes at this point?
I think so. My roommate is caught up. It seems like a cool thing to be into. I just don't think I have the time for another hobby that'll take up that much of my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think most of the anime I've watched was with you.
Yeah, but I like the short stuff.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop.
Maguka.
Yeah, we watched Maguka. Being Maguka is Suffering. Good show. Good show.
Mm-hmm. I wish they made an anime of Danganronpa.
They did. It's bad.
Oh. I wish they made a good anime.
Yeah, play the games. You kind of need all the extra writing.
Yeah. I just would sometimes get stuck in the cases, specifically when it's not a bullet you have, and so you have to look to steal a bullet.
Yeah, those are tricky. And I honestly think playing some of the particularly tricky cases with a guide and just not spoiling yourself ahead of time, have one up, and if you get stuck, look at just the answer you need. But really try to figure it out for yourself, because I love mystery novels and things like that. Every time they release one of those Poirot movies, I'm all about it. I'm licking my chops. I want to read them all someday.
Yeah, that explains why you liked Scream.
I like Scream 3.
Oh yeah. I just know that because I stole part of the script for one of my songs.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Well, cool. So we're moving into the last question. I'm sure you know what it is by now. What advice would you give yourself at age 18, and do you think 18-year-old Tristan would take your advice?
Yeah, this is tough. I can probably tell you that 18-year-old Tristan would not have listened to me. I think 18-year-old Tristan would not be surprised by who he became, particularly knowing that 18-year-old Tristan was 2016. So that was, an important year for us all. He was pretty pessimistic. So I think I'd tell him to lighten up. That's something I'm still working on, and I feel like if I had gotten an earlier start, I might be in a better place now, but who's to say? We're trying to bring the positivity. I took at my last job, they made us do this professional horoscope thing where it ranks your professional skills by which ones you're good at and which ones you're not good at. I was very good at critical thinking things, and then my bottom skill is positivity. So that's something I'm actively trying to work on in my personal and professional life now. So yeah, I guess I just tell myself to lighten up more. Mm-hmm. Who knows if I would have listened.
Well, it sounds like and the answer is you wouldn't.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Just going off that, what has been what would you say has been the biggest source of positivity for you?
Well,
Like-
my lovely fiance Alana, absolutely my rock. Definitely the positive end of my battery. These guys, this is Paws. She is a tortie, and she has PTSD because she was owned by an old woman who died in her home.
Oh.
She's very sweet. She loves everybody, and
for me.
constantly demands attention, even from you. Goodbye, Paws. The other one is actually on the couch behind me. I don't know if I can. Yeah, there she is. Has
I'll
patches.
cut to it.
Yeah, yeah, great. Yeah, I can send you pictures too. I'm a very proud cat dad.
Yeah, I usually steal your pictures.
Yeah, you do. I like that they're always presented like they might be your pets.
In a way, they are.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, this has been pretty great. Thanks for being here, Terst.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Is there anything you want to plug? Any closing remarks?
Not particularly. I'm sure we'll do more music in the future. If any of your viewers are on old school RuneScape, they can add me at terst BTW with a space. I'm an Iron Man, which means I don't trade with other people. And I have to remind people of that. So the BTW stands for by the way.
Well, cool. Thanks for being here, and
Yeah,
that's the show.
great.
Great.
Good show. Thanks for having me.
And there'll be some outro stuff.